All right, family, let's toast.
Yes.
To getting in your bag and staying in your bag. Let's go. All right, as y'all sip y'all drink, I really got a question for y'all. You know, we talking think like a man. So which one of these characters is the biggest deal breaker for y'all? And I'm gonna explain who they are, right? First up, we got Lauren, the woman who is her own man. Then we got Dominic, the dreamer. Candace, the single mom. Michael, the mama's boy. Got any mama's boy here? I don't know. We got we got Kristen, the girl who wants a ring. I think we all know some people like that. We got Jeremy, the non-committer. Maya, Miss 90-Day Rule girl. And then Zeke, the player. So, Sade, which one of those for you is...
I mean, at 30 plus, I can't deal with a guy who's not willing to commit. So I think, to me, that would be a huge deal breaker. The one who's like emotionally unavailable. I could kind of see them being the same. So for me, I can't deal with a guy who's not willing to commit.
And what does that look like in practice? Because people say that all the time, you know, non-committing, they're just not ready yet. But what does that look like? Have you experienced that? What does that play out for you?
Yeah, I think it's more so emotionally unavailable. So I've experienced guys who pursue but are confused about what they really want. So it leads to inconsistency, and I can't deal with inconsistency. You know, you gotta show up, be clear about what you want, and walk in that. And I find men who generally have not been like that. So for me, I can't deal with that. Like, I'm ready to commit, ready to settle down, be a housewife, you know?
Okay. And do you feel like you play a role in things not working out, or is it usually on the man side?
I play a role when I shut it down. When I recognize, I discern, and I see, you know, where it's going, and I shut it down. So I think I definitely do play a role in that. But as far as me not showing up as my full self and not being clear about what I want, I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
And I don't want to be like a housewife. I was just saying that to be cute.
Okay. I rock with that. Steve, how about
Cheers,
you?
lady.
I can't do the control freak. I can't do that.
Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I mean, we too grown for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've experienced that, you know? Just trying to make decisions on my life, when I come, when I go. It's not happening right now.
How does that conversation go, right? You meet somebody, y'all vibing, and then it's not until a few weeks in you realize, okay, they're a little bit much. Do you just ghost them, or do you have a conversation like, this is what I expect, this is what's not working?
I mean, if there's potential, maybe, you know, you have that conversation, but if not, you gotta clip that quick.
What's the potential that will keep you kind of engaged?
I just think, you know, who they are as a person, what their goals are, you know, if their goals are similar to mine, are we in the same place in life? What's our family background like? You know what I'm saying? If it's similar, if it's what I want, then maybe I could work with you. But that, to me, that's a deal breaker. We can't do that.
Got you. Amani, I see you hard. You thinking hard right now. Where's your head at right now?
I could not tolerate Zeke the Freak, the player. I just can't. I mean, at my big age, I don't feel like I need to tame someone and just say, like, just focus on me. If you're not there, just coming in, then, you know, go ahead and have your fun. I don't want no parts.
Right. I'm seeking a consistent theme, age. How have you evolved to get to this point? Because I could imagine maybe 10 years ago, maybe you was Zeke the Freak at one point.
Oh yeah, 10 years ago, I was all over the place. Okay, but now it's like I have my goals and I'm a little bit more settled in my own self. Like, I have everything that I wanted to get. Like, I've reached all my goals as far as like where I want to live, how I want to live. And so I need somebody to kind of meet me there as well. If you didn't have your fun already and you in your 30s and you just now getting there, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't want it.
Are you, when you are seeking out a partner, are you sensing like a theme at all? Like, is it, you know, are men not ready? Is that somewhat of a theme, or?
No, they're not. They're not.
Not in New York.
Right, not in New York. Now, I feel like if I lived in like the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, then maybe I would run into somebody, because it's just different. In New York, there's so many of us beautiful, successful women. And I feel like there's such few men who kind of reach, who are on our level, no shade, but who we're looking for. So, you know, and I understand the numbers game. I get it, but I also don't want to play along. I'd rather just be by myself for now.
Do you not feel, though, if I could ask this question, like men are too old to be doing this, or are we on two different time schedules here, men? Maybe y'all could step in, or maybe you, because you live in New York.
I mean, are we on two different pages?
Yeah, just
like,
kind of, because I'm like, we still doing this? Like, why?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody else. It depends on where you at in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not ready to settle, you're not ready to settle. Ain't no room and ain't no need to force it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think honesty is the key. That's where we at. It's when you not being honest about where you really at. That's when there's confusion. That's when there's conflict. You know?
Yeah. Wale, I'm gonna put you on the spot, my fly brother. Both, I want to hear, where do you feel like ultimately men may go wrong, but also what's like a deal breaker for you?
So my deal breaker gotta be the potential. I don't really believe in those fairy tale stories, so we're gonna elaborate later. And then the second gotta be, I'm gonna stick with that one. Fairy tales and the woman who just wants a ring, but doesn't want to do the things to get the ring. How about that?
What does that mean? Because I feel like that puts a lot of the pressure on the woman.
Like, you can't just want to be a wife, but you're not really willing to be a wife. It's like, and you want somebody to fill a void in your life. Like, you want to be married, but you're not really willing to do the things to be married.
What are those things?
It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
It's different for everybody. I don't have the answers because I'm not married, but everybody has a different thing that they want from an individual. But a lot of times, I think sometimes there's an image in your mind once you hit 30 or whatever age it is. You're just like, yo, I want a husband. But are you a wife?
But when you say, are you a wife, what do you mean by that?
Does somebody want to wife you?
But that doesn't determine whether or not she's a wife. If someone
it kind of does.
So what are the qualities that make? But what
because
are the qualities?
The man has to ask you.
But what are the qualities that a wife carries that would make you consider her a wife?
It will be different for everyone, but in particular, when I think of marriage, I think of unity as a team, right? You can't be somebody's wife and you're like, yo, you gotta take care of me and you gotta pay all the bills. What happens if I lose my job or something? You can't even provide for our children. It's like,
can you hold me down?
You're not thinking as a unit. You're thinking as, what can a man provide for me? That's the city girl era. Feel me?
But there's men, but there are men out there that want to be providers. So that doesn't necessarily mean that she's not.
There's a
wife.
difference between being a provider and also having a team. So like on a basketball court, there's a guy on the team that scores the most, he holds it down, he's the leader of the team. But there's gonna be a time when my man Kobe is having a bad game. Can somebody else step up and fill that void? That's what a team is. You could be a provider, but like I still need my team when I'm not at my strength. And I don't think a lot of women walk into relationships thinking team unity. We're thinking like, yo, what can he give me? What can he do for me? Because I'm beautiful and my wig is laid and my makeup popping, bro.
Can I ask you, because I know a lot of the themes lately, right? Oh gosh. The themes have been like femininity themes and providing peace for a man. Is that along the lines of where you're going with this?
Absolutely. Like there's a stress in being a provider. There's a stress in having to hold it down. What we're looking for is solitude in a team. There has to be a team. I want to be on a team. I don't want to be by myself. Like literally think about providing. It's easy when you think about it one-on-one, right? But say you have 4 kids. No man is ever going to be at peace thinking like, yo, if I lose my job, my whole family's homeless. But if you had a team, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if I got to pay you back, like you got me. Like I got comfort. There's a comfort, and that's the same thing that you feel when you're with a man. You're just like, yo, he got me, right? A man want to feel that too.
Yeah. So I feel like, Amani, you asked the question of kind of, or at least I asked it after you talked in terms of like, where is the disconnect? And I think what Wale and Sade are kind of getting at is the fact that maybe women are coming with certain expectations and men are ready to provide those things, but they also expect women to come to the table and build a team. And I think those expectations need to be laid out. Obviously, communication needs to be there, but ultimately, somewhere along those lines, in a lot of initial relationships or introductory conversations, there's a disconnect. And I guess you never get to the point of a relationship because it's just not there. So Chazzy, I'm gonna throw it to you. What's kind of like the no-go, the deal breaker for you?
Is this a bad answer, mine or all of them? In terms of all the guys, because first I was saying the mama's boy, but then I was like, well, if you're non-committal, that ain't gonna work. If you a player, don't even waste my time. So I have to say all 3 of the guys. The mama's boy I've never experienced before. I wish there was someone. Have any of y'all experienced that?
No.
Okay, I hear it's crazy.
Mommy issues.
There's degrees. Mommy issues.
Yes, mommy issues. But
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a whole other battle, yeah. If it's anything like what I saw in the movie, Think Like a Man, then I don't want that either. So I'm gonna have to say all of them. Can I do that?
It's a scapegoat answer, but we'll let it be. I think my thing is, my response to that is always going to be, what grace do you allow a man? Just because it feels as though,
okay, that's a good
I feel
question.
like black women, particularly, we know, or I believe, you all are advanced at an earlier point than black men when it comes to your emotional intelligence and how you just show up. And so black men we're working to get there, but it takes more time. And I feel as though if a lot of men feel as though we're not there and you keep kind of giving up on us, how can we ever get there? And it's not the job of a black woman to raise black men. But if you aren't a mama's boy and maybe you are raised by people outside of your house, where do you learn?
Can I say the only one I give grace to is the mama's boy. The rest, thank you.
Okay. Well, if I had to turn it back on myself, I think similar to Wale, I think for me, it's the woman who wants a ring. Just because I feel like the idea of that is you're coming to the table with that's the only thing on your mind and you're not thinking about anything else. And so to me, it's like, what else is there? I need a little more. And when I think of movies and TV shows and different things, I think oftentimes, and I just even heard it recently, it's almost like women never get the same acknowledgement and praise that they get when they get proposed to.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true.
And I think that that's very telling in our society. I mean, just when it comes to like social media and all that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I think that's the hill, right? But it's like, that's just the starting point, right? And so how can we get past that? And so if you're coming into a conversation, us meeting each other to possibly do something, and that's the only goal, then that's a problem.
So, go ahead, Chazine. Because I think like a woman who wants a ring is a woman who is desiring marriage. I think maybe we should reframe the way we say that. And I think that's a woman who's really clear about what she wants, right? And desires that. Now, if a woman's coming to the table and she's blindsided by just the ring and she misses out on all the other things that are there, then I see how that can pose an issue. But a woman who wants to be married, I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of women get slack because of their desire to be in a union, you know? So I would have to like disagree to an extent with what you said.
Okay. What were you about to say?
She said it. Well, let's continue the conversation.
Okay, yeah. So we gonna cheers one more time. We gonna keep this conversation going.
Cheers, y'all. Oh no, we know Wale.
Here we go.
Don't leave it alone.
All right.
I'm gonna leave it alone. Sip my real drink.